Very good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's YouTube Live. And we are back with our Tuesday session of YouTube Live. And thank you all for joining as well. I mean, in the past few YouTube Live sessions, we had mentioned that we have this a positive outlook on the Indian indices, and it has been worked as anticipated. We have seen that most of our targets has been achieved, and the overall momentum on the upside still continues. Last time we had a Q&A session, okay, and well, many of your queries were basically answered, and I hope that all of those queries were resolved, and we have seen most of the responses which we actually provided. The targets of the same have got achieved. I mean, the stocks or the sectors have moved as per our anticipation, as per our research, as per our analysis, right? And we also had discussed in the past that how what would be the triggers for markets going forward in the next quarter. Also we had discussed that what is the way ahead for markets. So these are the kind of YouTube live sessions which we've done it in past. I mean, where do we see markets heading going forward, and the sectoral outlook, and all of them actually have gone quite good, well as anticipated. Now, in today's session, okay, we are again going to discuss that where are markets heading now. I mean, we have already entered 2021. So again, I would like to say that wish you all a very, very happy new year. And the beginning of this year has been quite positive, I would say. The only factor which I see, these days, I mean, since past two occasions, I've been seeing that markets are basically selling off from the higher levels. Is the news, related to the coronavirus? Okay, I mean, we did see that last time when Nifty had actually fallen, when Nifty had fallen, 600 points on the intraday basis. At that point of time as well, we did see that market in fact corrected in a single day, and we did see it happening today as well. Intraday basis, we did see that market actually fell, and on the news of this coronavirus. But the thing is that the kind of flows which you are getting in, and we all know that the vaccine for coronavirus is out worldwide. It has been approved by WHO as well. So the cure is there. It's just that we are seeing the immediate the new variant of coronavirus which is affecting right now the markets, and Britain basically has again imposed this lockdown, the severe one again, and there is a worry across global markets that will this turn out to be the next second wave, which we generally talk about on a global basis. Well, I think that the probability of the same is less because the vaccine is out, and the cure is out, and it has been said that the same vaccine can be useful for the new variant as well of virus. I mean, it's just that it's more infectious, but as harmful as it was earlier. So the probability of things improving from here on is quite high. Okay, the probability of that is quite high, and we have been maintaining our bias positive. In fact, in today's session as well, if you check that the one sector which was not performing, that that was the banking and financial, which was not performing. In fact, that actually bounced back, and that is raising the hopes that with this kind of fund flow, and the kind of cure which we have in terms of vaccine. In fact, there are multiple vaccines available now globally. So I think with this, the probability of market still performing is quite high. It's just that the levels which I need to actually mention. So as far as the bank Nifty is concerned, from the expiry point of view, if I say Thursday being an expiry, weekly expiry, the first weekly expiry of 2021, right? So I think that 31,500 was actually acting as a very, very crucial resistance on Bank Nifty, and where we had seen good amount of call writing happen at the higher levels, and those levels have taken off, in fact, and Bank Nifty has managed to close about those levels, which clearly indicates that the probability of now Bank Nifty performing from here on is quite high. I think yes, Bank Nifty is likely to inch towards the level of 32,000, and I think that till 31,500 levels are held on a closing basis. We can say this up move in Bank Nifty, and as far as Nifty is concerned, I think that on the downside, 14,000 to 14,050 is the zone, which I think will be level to watch out for until those levels are held. There is very high chance that we can continue to see this rally continuing to the levels of 14,350, right? So 14,350 is the level to watch out for on the upside. 14,100, 14,050, 14,000 range. I mean, broadly, if you see 14,000 to 14,100 is the range of the downside, which is likely to hold. And if that is held, we will see this momentum continue at least for this week. Next week again we'll meet, and we'll update on the levels. So this is just the short-term levels which we have just discussed. Now coming to sectors, this is going to be really important. I mean, as far as sectors are concerned, friends, I will tell you one thing, that there are a few sectors which we were bullish on. I mean, in the last YouTube session, live YouTube session, we had actually told you that, auto sector is likely to outperform, and we have seen auto stocks are really doing good. So that is one sector which we were bullish on. We are still bullish. Okay, there is another sector which is Nifty Metal. Nifty Metal Index is still performing, and it is also likely to perform going from here on. So Nifty Auto, Nifty Metal, Nifty Pharma again forming lifetime high this week. So that is one sector to keep in mind. Nifty FMCG Index has really broken out from the falling trend line of past 2 years, and that's been performing quite well. So I think Nifty FMCG is also likely to perform from here on, right? Another sector is the banking and financial. BFSI has just provided a breakout today, and we saw that Axis Bank was one of the top gainer, in fact, the second best gainer today, post after Naukri or maybe InfoEdge, right, in the F&O segment, and I mean among the large cap Nifty private sector banks. So I think that this is what one need to keep an eye on. This is what one needs to focus on, these are the sectors, in fact, which are likely to perform from here on and are likely to help Nifty going forward. So I think that till these sectors continue to move, till these sectors continue to perform, I think that Nifty's momentum as well as BFSI banking sector momentum will continue on the upside, right? Stock specifically, friends, as a disclaimer, I would like to say that few stocks which I just mentioned out here today, there might be few stocks that we might have recommended to our clients, and they might have a position in that. So as a disclaimer, that is the thing. So there are few stocks, I mean, like Axis Bank, which has really provided a breakout on the upside, which is quite positive from here on. In fact, HDFC Bank on the upside has a resistance around the levels of, say, 1450 odd levels, I would say. So HDFC Bank is one stock which one can keep an eye on. I would say 1450 is the level to watch out for. If those levels gets taken off, I think one would see again a positive momentum coming back to the that stock, and that would definitely help the Bank Nifty also inching higher, because that has clearly a very good weightage in the Bank Nifty as well as Nifty. So HDFC Bank, in fact, performing from here on will not only help Nifty but eventually help indirectly Bank Nifty as well. So this is one stock which one can keep an eye on. In fact, IndusInd Bank is also one stock which has in today's trading session has really provided a breakout and is likely to perform from here on. So all I mean to say that Nifty Private Sector Bank is still looking positive. Nifty Private Sector Bank Index is still looking positive. If you ask me, then let me just put on the levels of Nifty Private Sector Bank. Today is trading somewhere around 17,500. In fact, this was consolidating since past 3 days, and within this range of maybe 17,400 on the upside, maybe around 16,900 on the downside. That was the 500 points range, and which has just provided a breakout today. So it's like to inch towards 18,000 levels, right? So Nifty private sector banks moving it towards 18,000 means clearly indicates that it might just help Bank Nifty to inch towards 32,000 levels, and that's the magical figure, in fact, which I would like to watch out for this weekly expiry. And it's going to be really interesting, friends. So I again repeat that 31,500 on Bank Nifty on the downside on the closing basis for this weekly expiry is really important. Whereas 30,000 on the upside on Bank Nifty is really important. And I think that for the risk averse traders, a bit conservative, not those aggressive. I mean, trading in future segment, can just opt for I would say rather trade using options. I mean, option strategies wherein they can have a bull call spread, that is, buying the at the money strike 31,700 call and selling 32,000 call option. Still, I think one will enjoy 1:1.5 risk reward. I'm sure about it. And if not, then those who want to play on the plain vanilla options, that 32,000 or maybe 31,700 call of the 14th Jan expiry can also be actually bought, and I think the upside potential is quite high. Of course, one has to trade with the stop losses. I always say that trading has to be done with discipline, right? Whether it's trading or investment, I think discipline is a key actually to be into the stock market. And whenever you think that your view has gone wrong or it's against your view, you have to exit. You have to accept that. You have to exit and maybe shift to some other position, right? Wherever you see on the long or short side if you're a trader. And from the investment point of view as well, I would like to basically tell you that Nifty mid cap and small cap indices are doing really good. In fact, I think that there is much more room for the Nifty mid and small cap indices from here on. The reason being is that we have seen the large cap performing quite, and these stocks are in fact the large cap stocks and the blue chip stocks are still continue to perform, and they are likely to do so. The momentum is still positive out there. I mean, there is no such trigger. I mean, wherein we can say that one can exit from here on. I mean, if there is no new fundamental trigger on any particular company, one can definitely exit and do profits and maybe shift to some other stock or maybe sector wherein they see some good performance coming. All I mean, friends, is that it's an art as well. So trading, investments is a science as well as art, right? So the art is you exit when you think it is wrong. You should know how to basically move from one sector to another, identify the good stocks, and another art is, I would say, is that should not be too much of greedy, and you should know how to manage that, and should not be more of fearful as well. I mean, if your stock is moving against your view, maybe things fundamentally are okay. I mean, you shouldn't worry much. So that's an art. I would say one thing from here on is that today is 5th Jan, and tomorrow is going to be really important. I mean, say Georgia elections results in US. There is one important trigger. The US Electoral College going to be deciding who's going to be the next president officially. Right, I mean, till now the U.S. media has confirmed, right, that that Joe Biden is definitely the new president-elect of U.S. And now on 26th of Jan it will be final, and there will be swearing-in ceremony and everything. We're going to see that, but that is one trigger as far as U.S. markets are concerned. I don't see this as of now, a new variant of COVID, to be really one of the reasons to actually sell off. Because we have been seeing in past 2 occasions, we have seen recently in past 2 weeks or 3 weeks that it does not work. So let's just not take that as a reason now if markets fall from here on. Okay? If that had to be a reason, then market wouldn't have actually recovered on the same day or the very next day, right? And logically, I have seen this kind of things. Practically, I would say as well in the past. Based on my experience, I say that if it had to be a reason, markets wouldn't have recovered and given chance on 2 occasions, right? So that is not the reason if markets sell off from here on going forward. It could be some other reasons maybe. One important thing is that the quarterly numbers, Q3 numbers, are going to be out starting from this month, And this I have always said it in past as well on our past YouTube live sessions that going forward Q3 numbers will play important role. Maybe till now whatever we have discounted, um, whether numbers actually come in lines with expectations, or maybe they beat the estimates. So these are the things that what we need to actually watch out for, and these are the general things which we always watch out for, right? Fundamentally, that whether whatever estimates we have, basically stocks are beating those estimates, are basically underperforming or are in lines, right? So that's a normal thing, I would say. Budget, obviously, our finance minister has said that it's going to be one of the best budget in past 100 years. So let's check it out. I mean, hopefully that turns out to be as like what she had actually mentioned, or she has promised to do that. And technicals and derivative point of view, I've already said that these are the levels. I'll again repeat those levels before signing off. That 14,100 to 14,000 range is really important on the downside. Until those levels are held, we may see Nifty continuing its upward momentum. Bank Nifty, as far as that is concerned, we would see that 31,500 on the downside will act as a very, very crucial support. Until those levels are held, we may see Bank Nifty back inching towards the levels of 32,000. Right, and I would also like to say that let me since we are again live today, if anyone has any query, I mean, we still have some more time, right? So why don't we take the advantage of the same? Because we did see that last time the response was amazing, and we would like to have more such sessions as well going forward. So why not today as well? I mean, we have limited time, but then we can take limited questions, right? So if anyone has a query, please you can put it down in the chat box, and we'll try and answer those queries, right? One can also actually email it to us, right, at asjt@marwadigroup.in. So we would like to actually reply or respond to those as well, right? Also, friends, I would like to say that among the few mid-cap names which we already recommended for as a Diwali pick, technically, were like like Finolex Cape, Finolex Industries, or maybe CCL products, CCL products. Thereafter, we have CET. These are all likely to perform going forward. See, as I said, the outlook on Nifty Auto is positive. So Nifty, I would say auto ancillary stocks are also likely to do. Okay, we have one query. Okay, so let me just respond to that. I mean, there is one query on by Priya, and that's on Bank Nifty. And her question is that whether one should buy 32,000 call option. What is the outlook for the same? See, as far as this week is concerned, I would say that 32,000 is a bit far. In fact, that is our target, definitely. Yeah, 32,000 is our target. You can continue to hold so. That's not a problem. I think, see the way the Bank Nifty has provided a breakout today, there was a 600 points range. So I think the target for Bank Nifty should be 32,000 to 32,100, right? And we have got exactly that strike. So it might just be in the money by 100 odd points. So today's close is somewhere around 130. So I would advise whether if you're getting profit tomorrow, well and good, book it out. If not, then you can shift it to 31,600 or 700. That is in the money call option, because you would always have some intrinsic value when you're very close to the expiry. I would say always try and be into the in the money call options on the day of expiry or one day before. So the final reply would be that if you're getting profits tomorrow, great, book it out. If not, then shift it to 31,600 to 700 strike. Right? There is one question from Mr. Sam Soni. What is a long-term Nifty view, at least for 3-4 months? Well, I would say that I would say one thing that long-term, definitely Sam. Nifty is absolutely positive. I would say that 7,500 is absolutely bottom. In fact, I would say going forward, the kind of bottom which we have seen recently, the next base for Nifty for the long term should be somewhere around 11,000 to 11,500 for the long term. I'm saying, Sam. Okay, for the medium term, I think that the medium term outlook as of now is still positive. I would say on the downside, I would say Nifty has a good support around 13,000, 13,500 range. So from the long-term point of view, 11,000 to 11,500. From the medium-term point of view, 13,000 to 13,500 on the upside. Our targets are still, to 14,350. Only if that Nifty managed to cross over those levels, then we can see 14,700, 800 zones as well. So outlook still is positive. But yes, if there is any reversal, we'll definitely let you know in the next YouTube live session as well. So for that you need to Sam, continuously follow and continuously join our YouTube sessions. So you'll be updated right with the levels. As far as another question, there is one question from Nisha. Okay, and her view is on Petro and LNG. See, Petro and LNG fundamentally is a very nice stock. I would say the outlook is quite positive for this particular stock. In fact, it has been one of the best performer I would say in the past, and the overall business is also quite relatively good, I would say, and it's likely to perform. Fundamentally, you can buy this, keep it, and hold it at least for next 2-3 years, and this stock is likely to perform or deliver good returns going forward. Technically, if you ask me, yeah, then I would say that, see, Petro and LNG has been trading within this range. On the downside, we have seen this stock taking good support around the levels of maybe 220. On the upside, if you see, then we have seen this stock in fact taking resistance somewhere near the levels of 270-80. So that's been the range of 60 odd points. That is almost 30%, right? 25 to 30%. If at all it provides a breakout from these levels on the upside, we will see this stock, in fact, delivering those 25-30% on the upside. So maybe from 260s to 280 zone, we can see this stock, in fact, inching towards the levels of 350 or so going forward. So you can continue to hold this stock. It's good. We have one more question. That's the last question, friends, for today. But I'm sure that in the next session we will be having more such queries and we'll be taking up those as well. Neeraj has one question that is on AB Capital. What's the view on AB Capital from the point of view of 1-2 years? Now that's for the long term, right? Neeraj, I would say that from the long-term point of view, I'm not that bullish on AB Capital relatively. If you see, this stock, then I would say we have better stocks, relatively to AB Capital. In fact, this stock has not performed quite well in the past. Historically, we have seen that this stock, in fact, has provided negative, returns to its investors. I mean, if you compare this stock with the others, like maybe Bajaj Finance from the banking and financials, maybe so there are so many options out there. I mean, if you're talking about the NBFCs, then we have one of the best NBFCs like Bajaj Finance or Bajaj Finserv. If you're talking about from the broking or maybe AMC point of view, then we have HDFC AMC. Which is really looking good, and I think that is one stock which one should definitely have in the portfolio. This is likely to perform very good going forward in the long term, maybe 1-2 years, maybe 3-4 years. So you have better options compared to Aditya Birla Capital fundamentally. So I would like to say avoid this. If you have this, you can switch it from this stock to maybe some other better stocks, maybe HDFC AMC or Bajaj Finance or something like that, right? So that's all from my side, friends. Thank you so much for joining in today. And I'm sure that next session again we'll be coming out with more some interesting topics and definitely updates on the Nifty and Bank Nifty for the short term. And wish you all good luck going forward as well. Thank you.